Hey guys, it's Lily. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. Today is Saturday, and tomorrow I'm going to be having friends over for Friendsgiving. So I am working on Friendsgiving prep. I made cranberry sauce today. I'm working on making creme brulee, which is one of my favorite desserts. And so because of that, I'm going to try to make today's video a little short because I really don't have time to edit stuff and do a whole 45-minute video for you guys, but I think you guys will appreciate it. I'm currently sitting on the floor in my porch where I keep most of my plants and the pretty much 99.98% of my Hoya collection. So I thought I could walk you guys through some of my favorite Hoyas, and hopefully you guys will appreciate it. Alright, so I think the first one I'm going to show you guys is this one right here because it's really... honestly, it never stops blooming, and for that reason it's one of my favorites. It's a Hoya MULTIFLORA, or a shooting star Hoya, and it's in this pot that I got from, I think it was TJ Maxx a couple of years ago, and it's definitely one of my favorite Hoyas. I call these Hoyas that have super thin long leaves mango looking Hoyas. I don't know why, they to me just look like mango leaves and don't really look like Hoyas until you notice that they bloom. But this is a Hoya MULTIFLORA, and here it is. It has one bloom that it's stayed there, and then it's working on a whole other umbel. So I'm really excited for this one to open, and I've had this Hoya for, I want to say it was a year and a half ago. I got it as a gift from my friends Erica and Junior. It was probably, I think it was the second time I ever saw them, and after that we've become really good friends, so I'm really thankful that they gave me this Hoya because it's quickly become one of my favorites, and hopefully in the next year it'll keep blooming and keep growing for me. It's a really easy Hoya, and I highly recommend you get one if you don't already have one. So there it is, Hoya MULTIFLORA. Okay, so this next one I'm going to show you is my Hoya Freckles Splash. I got this one about a year and a half ago, and I really struggled with it when I first got it, but I think that has to do with the fact that I didn't realize it had mealybugs. Not mealybugs, root mealies, which I guess are also mealybugs, but they focus on eating the roots. And I had it for like 6 months. It never grew a leaf. I mean, it was just like stunted. It had just the bottom 2 leaves and that was it. And I was really frustrated with it. Then I realized I had root mealies. As soon as I took off all the roots and treated for root mealies, the Hoya just kind of took off, and it hasn't stopped growing since. So it's definitely one of my favorites. It's super high splash. Here you can see the splash on the leaves. And it just grows kind of beautiful for me, and I'm really excited for it. I really want to propagate it, but it just has this really long runner that just keeps growing, and I feel really bad just cutting it. So I'm gonna wait probably until like February to cut it, and hopefully it gets a little bit longer so I can cut off a few notes and share with my friends. So yeah, this is my Hoya Freckle Splash. Alright, so this next Hoya I'm going to show you is my Hoya RHM 1307. I got this one as a cutting from Rick about 5 months ago, and it's been growing wonderful for me since then. It only took a couple weeks for it to root, and once it rooted, it just kind of took off. As you can tell, I've only had it for 5 months, but you can tell it's already grown a lot for me. I started it with these 2 leaves, and now look how big it has gotten. Probably my favorite part about this Hoya is just the dark veins on the leaves, and then it's also a really nice texture. Like if you touch the older leaves, they're slightly velvety. I mean, I really enjoy that. So yeah, you should get an RHM 1307 if you don't already have one. This other one that I wanted to show you, I had been wanting for a very long time, and I finally got one. I got it as a cutting also from Rick, and it's been doing really well for me. It's growing pretty fast, and it's a, I'm gonna say this wrong, CYSTIANTHA. It's a CYSTIANTHA splash, and it grows beautiful. Here you can see the original leaves. and then how much it has grown for me already, and it's already working on a peduncle here, so hopefully it'll bloom for me soon. Hopefully you can see that peduncle there. But I'm just really excited for it. I love the growth pattern on this Hoya. It was probably my favorite part about it, is just how it grows, and the bloom always hangs in the bottom of it. I'll post a picture of the bloom once I edit this video. But I definitely recommend you getting a CYSTIANTHA splash if you don't already have one. Definitely one of my favorites. I know, I say that a lot. I have a lot of favorites. But I mean, I feel like all Hoya collectors do. It's really hard to pick a handful that are your favorites. I don't know if we ever had a house fire. I really don't know which one I would pick. I would have a really hard time picking one. Okay, so my RINTZII Borneo is definitely in my top favorite Hoyas. And honestly, the first thing that drew me to my RINTZII Borneo is how it like glistens. It's shiny. The leaf literally looks like velvet, like shiny velvet. It does not look real. So hopefully you can see that there. Let's see. I know, it's absolutely stunning. This one specifically has some splash on the leaves, like every single leaf is very splashy, and that's probably why it's one of my favorites. But I'm really excited about growing out this Hoya and getting it to be really big, because the leaves are just absolutely stunning. When I first got into Hoyas, I was really into the blooms and what the blooms will eventually look like. But eventually I realized that, you know, as a Hoya collector, your Hoya will probably bloom maybe once a year, and it'll take maybe 2 years for the Hoya to bloom for the first time, so you kind of have to start falling in love with the foliage if you're going to be a Hoya collector. But the RINTZII Borneo was definitely one of the first Hoyas that caught my attention as far as like foliage is concerned, because it really just does not look real. It looks like a plant that you buy at like Target that just looks shiny and fake. So yeah, that's my RINTZII Borneo. The next one that I want to show you is this big lady right here. It's my Hoya Michelle. It's a really popular Hoya, and you could probably tell why. I mean, the leaves grow huge. It has a really beautiful growth pattern. It's growing on a bamboo, and the leaves just kind of like fall forward, and they just kind of, I don't know, it just looks really stunning. It's definitely one of my favorites, and specifically this leaf. Look how splashy it is. I've had this one probably for 2 years, so it's definitely not a fast growing Hoya for me, but it also just hasn't given me trouble. Like it's never giving me trouble. Like it's never had root rot, it's never had root mealies. It's just a slow, semi-happy Hoya. But it's honestly worth the wait if you could get your hands on one. I definitely recommend it. The leaves will eventually get even bigger than this, and splashy. So I'm just really excited about this Hoya. And definitely, I mean, look at this. Look at this leaf. I hope you can see this. It's so dark and just textured, and the leaf is kind of wavy. So I'm just really excited about this one. And I definitely recommend everyone get a Michelle. This next one is my DEYKEAE chicken farm cross. I've had it for, I want to say, a year, and it was really slow to grow at the beginning, but I repotted it, I want to say in March I repotted it, and since I repotted it, it just kind of took off. It has like a new growth point here. It has 2 growth points here that are actively growing, and a lot of these leaves, like I don't know if you can tell from the video, but every leaf from here on up is still soft, like it's actively getting bigger. So I'm really excited to see how big they get, and just I really enjoy how splashy the leaves are also. So hopefully you guys can see how beautiful this Hoya is. Definitely in my top, maybe top 50. This other one that I wanted to show you, honestly, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. Okay, I'm going to try. STENOPHYLLA? I think that's how you pronounce that. But it's super dainty. It again doesn't look like a Hoya. Look at this. But it's a really easy grower for me. Like, I started with like, I want to say it was like three nodes as a cutting. It wasn't even rooted. It rooted on the first try, and I've only had it for like 6 months, and it's just doing amazing. And it just keeps growing. It just kind of looks, it looks fake, honestly. And that's why I love them so much. I have a thing for weird looking Hoyas, and this is definitely one of them. So yeah, this is my Hoya STENOPHYLLA. And last but certainly not least is my Hoya MEGALASTER. Now, I realize I've already shown you this Hoya, but I have to show it again, and I have to show it because it's about to bloom. So hopefully, I don't think it'll bloom by tomorrow, so I don't think I'll be able to post a picture, but look how big they look already. Look how plump they are. And this bloom is probably my favorite Hoya bloom. It's this like big, it looks like rubber, like super deep, like maroon purple color. It's absolutely stunning. It doesn't smell, like it doesn't have a fragrance, but it's a really, it grows really well for me. It has bloomed. This is the 3rd time that it blooms for me this year, and I'm honestly very surprised that it's blooming in November, but here it is. It's really just happy right now, and it's working on a bloom. So I will post pictures on my Instagram once the bloom opens, so make sure that you follow my Instagram so you can see the pictures of the blooms once it does open. I'll be sure to post more pictures of it. I'm so excited. So as I sit here and I show you some of my favorite Hoyas, I have to mention flat mites. I've been stressing out about flat mites for the past week or so. It's a subject that has been going around the internet now for a few weeks, and as much as I'm trying not to overreact and just hyperfixate on them, I'm really just worried that all of my Hoyas are covered in flat mites, and I'm just so happily unaware of it, and they're all gonna spontaneously die on me or something. So I am planning on treating all of them with sulfur in the next couple of weeks. I just have to find the time to do it, but I highly encourage you guys to get a microscope and inspect your Hoyas for flat mites. Apparently they're not easily seen, like you can't see them with your eyes. You have to get like an actual microscope because they're so freaking tiny. So I don't know, I already ordered a microscope, and I am probably gonna tackle that next week. I have some time off from work for Thanksgiving, so I will inspect my Hoyas closer, and I will probably treat with sulfur. Not probably, I definitely will, because I'm just paranoid. I really hate mites, and I can't even imagine losing any of my collection to mites, and just because I'm oblivious to them. So I highly encourage you guys to check your Hoyas, be proactive with your pest control, because the last thing you want to do is waste your time, waste your resources, and be heartbroken by losing a Hoya just because you were oblivious to the fact that they had flat mites, which apparently everyone has. So I don't know, just go check your Hoyas and fingers crossed that none of your Hoyas have flat mites or any pest issues. But I plan on tackling some pest control stuff in the coming weeks. I'll probably start with root mealies because they're probably the most common pest issue on Hoyas. And then depending on how it goes with my sulfur treatment for the flat mites, I'll probably do a video on that too. So if you're interested, check back in the next few weeks and I'll definitely post something about it. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this week's video. And definitely come back next week. I'll post another video, and I'll probably still focus on Hoyas next week. So thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys. Bye!